historic and decorated conference in all of college basketball. The ACC is the standard to which all other conferences are compared. Historic teams and legendary players of the past are the standard bearers that look to pass the torch to the future champions of tomorrow. Tonight, the first month of the season continues as NC State looks to return to glory and carve their names into history. Tip-off from Tobacco Road is next. Tuesday night in the ACC finds us in Raleigh, North Carolina, PNC Arena. Tonight, the NC State Wolfpack hoping to keep the good vibes flowing. NC State, high hopes this year with fresh faces who've got talent. It's the FIU Panthers taking on the NC State Wolfpack. Glad to have you along for the ride with my partner, former Georgia Tech all-everything Brian Oliver. I am Eric Collins. Let's start with NC State. They've got 2 wins already so far this year, Brian, and this is a much-needed start to the year after the way things finished last year.
Yeah, Eric, this is a big year for Kevin Keese and the NC State program because, again, they have to get back to right the ship from how things turned out last year. They had to get bigger. They had to get older. 2 things that they did. Interesting to see if they're able to continue this hot start.
Well, one thing that does remain from last year is their star, Jorquavian Smith. He is our Hardy's star to watch tonight.
Yeah, preseason all-first-team ACC. This is a guy for Kevin Keese is going to come out, can score points in bunches because he is a guy that can light it up from behind the arc. When you see him, he's that one of the persons that if he get in transition, money, because he's going to knock it down. Come off the screen, again, money. What they're going to do is they're going to run a lot of plays for him to be able to get that jump shot. One thing that he has done to go with that jump shot is his ability to be able to put the ball on the floor. He is a walking bucket. And even after that, he will pick your pocket, take your cookies, and then finish it at the rim. Interested to see if they get him going early because once he gets going, very hard to stop.
All right, 2 wins already so far this year for NC State. Win number 3 may not be so easy. FIU, the Panthers, they've got a chance tonight. Let's talk specifics. What are your 4 keys to the game?
For this FIU team, they're going to pressure and they're going to try to get out. And for them, convert miscues for the pack because you want to get them out in transition. For NC State, normally they do a really good job as far as their bench point. Look for that bench mob to have an impact to tonight's game.
All right, let's do it. We've got FIU, the Florida International Panthers here in Raleigh, taking on Jorquavian Smith and the NC State Wolfpack. We're going to step aside, and when we come back, we will have starting lineups and your tip-off coming your way.
Got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and claim one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs on their way. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
Spicy buns, spicy sauce, spicy seasoning, spicy jalapenos, ooh, spicy fries. Boy, Arby's getting loose with the spice on the new Diablo sandwiches and fries. Arby's, we have the meat.
I am what hunger looks like in America.
I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch. Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs. And that's still not enough to put food on the table. I am a 16-year-old boy who just got my first job to help feed my little sisters. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew they were hungry.
Ladies and gentlemen, the University of Virginia and Charlottesville communities, including many of our colleagues and friends, were struck with unspeakable tragedy Sunday night. To UVA, the Virginia Department of Athletics, and the football program, we share your grief and stand steadfast in support. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us for a moment of silence as we honor those who were affected by this tragedy and ask that the families, classmates, and entire community remain in your thoughts and prayers.
just an awful couple of days on the campus of the University of Virginia, in the ACC, really nationwide. Moment of silence. That was a moment ago, and now we're playing basketball. With Brian Oliver, I'm Eric Collins. We've got FIU, the Panthers, coming out of Miami, Florida, taking on the NC State Wolfpack. And the cap is won by the homestanding Wolfpack, wearing the all-whites tonight, Brian. Here's your starters, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Quavion Smith is a stud. Jarkel Joyner, transfer from Ole Miss. Jack Clark, Dusan Mahorcic, and Casey Morsell. This is the 5 for FIU. Hawkins, Gittins in the backcourt. Denver Jones can score the basketball. Guadarrama, transfer from New Hampshire, and up and down. That's Denver Jones. I told you he could score.
And Denver Jones is one of those guys that, again, for this FIU team, is going to look to try. They're going to try to do a lot of penetration, get him going. The idea is to get going behind the arc and then put a lot of pressure on North Carolina State.
Here's Joyner, coming out of the SEC. First 3 games here in the ACC. Misses the shot, rebounded by Seth Pinckney. Pinckney is a true 7-footer. He's actually listed 7'1". Shot is missed in the corner. This time, Jones can't hit it. Quickly the other way in transition. That's a bang. Jack Clark. First 2 for NC State.
A great pass ahead, Eric, by Smith, being able to keep his head up. This is one of the things that's much improved with his game in this year. And you know about his scoring. Playmaking out the gate.
How quick this is.
You see for NC State, they're going to keep their head up and you can get it out and running. And again, with the athleticism, Clark being able to get out and get that easy transition basket.
They call the foul on Jack Clark, trying to pressure the ball. With a flop atop, but Casey Morrell hits the deck. Now he's back up, even strength 5-on-5. Jones a little bit bashful. He'd already attempted 2 shots. Figured he better take a little time. And he takes too much time. He travels.
And had a little Texas 2-step there.
There's Jeremy Ballard, man. We had a real good time talking with him. Now in his 5th season at FIU. Played collegiately at Colgate. Why do we mention Colgate? They're in the news tonight. Big win for Colgate over Syracuse. Battle for Central New York goes to the Red Raiders of Colgate.
And we've seen early in this non-conference season a lot of big teams get upset. See Smith there playing with the ball. And how about the recovery there?
Shot is blocked from behind. Deshaun Gittins.
You see the penetration by Smith, and then Gittins not giving up on the play. Trailing. Good job by Gittins on that one. And you'll see FIU put a lot of pressure on North Carolina State to try to hurry them up.
Looked like there may have been a reach in. No, we play on. Joyner gets it. Mahorcic uses that big body to score with contact. Chance for a 3-point play.
Nice move by Mahorcic. And again, we talked to Kevin Keats early. He said one of the things they need to work on is getting bigger. And you see right there, Mahorcic being able to hold his man off, get into the body of Pinckney, being able to put him and say, hey, get into the weight room, young fella.
Mahorcic, 35 more pounds than Pinckney. Grad transfer listed at 6'10", 235. That type of body has always worked in the ACC, and a nice free throw stroke. So after FIU scored the game's first bucket, a modest 5-0 run for NC State. And a steal, Mahorcic. Numbers for the Wolfpack. And Clark. No, that's going to be an offensive foul on Mahorcic, trying to set a screen.
And Mahorcic came up with a steal. And again, you always love it when your bigs are trying to clear a little space. You see Mahorcic's there trying to play a little keep away to allow Clark to be able to get to the basket.
Kevin Keats, 6th season. Last year was kind of a dud. They were just 4-16 in the ACC. Bodies flying down on the ground, Denver Jones. Ball stays with FIU. We talked a little bit about it in the open, Brian. This is an important year for Kevin Keats and NC State.
Yeah, and again, from last year, there was a team, not the typical Kevin Keats team, especially defense ranked last as far as points allowed. He realized that, you know, he had a lot of young players, and one of the keys coming to the season, he talked about getting older, adding more depth underneath the basket.
Jones hangs and hits with a foul.
Nice acrobatic move by Jones, and again, Denver Jones is one of those guys, again, when we look at him, his ability to be able to absorb contact and get to the cup. You see nice little blow-by right there, getting by Joyner, absorbing that contact coming over from Clark.
And Jack Clark has to leave the game 2 minutes and 18 seconds into our first half. Clark has picked up his second foul. Second year in the FIU program, Denver Jones from Newmarket, Alabama. Joyner sets the offense. He's actually going to split time run to the point with Terquavian Smith. That's one of the wrinkles this year for NC State. They want to make sure that Smith is handling the ball a ton. Ernest Ross has come into the game. He's the man that replaces Jack Clark. This is Smith.
You'll see this FIU team try to limit second chance opportunities to get out. They want to put a lot of pressure on NC State with their tempo. This is one of the teams, again, one of the fastest tempos in the country early in the season.
Guadarrama called for an offensive foul. Terquavian Smith holding his water.
Smith doing a good job of being able to move his feet. And you see Guadarrama waving around. It's like, I got this, I got this. And Smith doing a great job of being able to get there before him, serve the contact, and draw that offensive foul.
Foul called on Guadarrama. Change for FIU. Deshaun Gittins leaves. He's replaced by John Williams. Williams wears number 21. And a kick of the inbound pass. And that allows another sub to come into the game. Arturo Dean replaces Javante Hawkins. Dean is a true freshman. Last year he was a high school player. He scored 16.5 in his first 2 games.
And we talked to Jeremy Valley. He said that he's going to rotate guys in. They're going to go 10 deep because, again, they want to be able to maintain the pressure. You see foul called right there on Dean.
The officials, tight whistle early. 3 fouls on FIU, 4 fouls on NC State. That's 7 fouls in the first 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Good God. They're going to have to get new beads in those whistles at half. Joyner needs some help. Gets the screen, Mahorcic. And top of the key, foul on John Williams as he inadvertently pops Smith in the mouth.
Well, you see what they're trying to do. They want to make sure that they're aggressive with Smith because, again, we highlighted his scoring ability. A guy not only can shoot the 3, but if you give him an opportunity to get downhill, it'll definitely be dangerous.
DJ Burns is going to be a favorite. Big man, the transfer from Winthrop, takes off the sweats, comes into the game, and the crowd here at PNC Arena greets him warmly. Long one, Smith. Bad pass, too high for Jones. It's a quick turnover.
And if you're FIU, that's what you cannot afford. You can't have those unforced turnovers because you're going to try to put pressure on NC State, but you want to have opportunities to try to score.
Joyner breaks the press by himself. Burns thought about setting a screen. There it is. Into the corner, Morcell. That's a triple.
Morcell's one of those guys for Kevin Keith's team is that he's going to be a solid defender. And playing alongside Smith, you're going to get a lot of opportunities to be able to get open shots.
And a technical foul. Is it on Smith or is it on Williams? It's going to be on Terquavian Smith. I'm assuming just for John a little bit. So they clear out the lane and put Jones at the line.
Eric, I got the impression in talking to Jeremy Ballard in pregame is that his team's coming here with a chip on their shoulder. They're a team that, again, is going to pressure you. It's going to try to turn up the tempo. And the idea is that, hey, we're going to get into them and make sure that we impose our will on this game. You see a little jawing early in the first half.
Denver Jones has all of FIU's points. So it's NC State 8, Denver Jones 6. Raked away Smith. Another turnover. Ross. Morcell had it blocked. Stays with NC State. Smith. And a foul. Ernest Ross going over the back. And with that, we've got a chance to catch our breath.
You see a lot of times NC State wants to get out and run. Instead of they're trying to get up and get going. Close one at 8-6.
Welcome back, everyone. We have played 4 minutes and 10 seconds in our first half. Denver Jones, believe it or not, he's only taken 3 shots, but those are the only shots taken by FIU. How's that possible?
Well, you see the early turnovers in North Carolina State doing a good job extending their pressure. You're going to see both teams try to impose their will defensively.
We should note FIU's already in the bonus. The next foul that NC State commits will be their 7th, which will put FIU at the free throw line. Alley-oop is missed at the rim. No damage done. I wonder if that's going to go as a shot attempt. We'll have to take a look. Nope, still only 3 shots in the game by FIU, all by Denver Jones. Breon Pass has checked into the game. This is Pass with the ball. Left wing. Trying to dump it down to the big man. It's slapped away from DJ Burns. All right, can FIU get a shot up? Jones can get a shot up. That's his 4th shot. Still nobody else has shot for FIU. Terquavian Smith is out of the game for NC State. Where's the offense going to come from? Finally a touch for Burns. Lefty barrels inside and is fouled.
You see Burns realizing he's got a bigger advantage, and a lot of times the big fella takes his time trying to probe inside. This is a guy that they're really high on because of his ability not only to score down low, Eric, but also he's a great passer.
These will be his first free throws of the year. DJ Burns, last year the Big South Player of the Year while playing at Winthrop. First 2 games of the season, hasn't missed. He's 7 for 7 from the field. But now I guess technically he's missed a free throw. Still 7 for 7 from the field, but now 0 for 1 as a free thrower. And how quick was that rest for Terquavian Smith? Just on the bench for a hiccup, really. Now back on the floor along with his backcourt mate, Jarkel Joyner.
I figured Kevin Keese realized that they're probably struggling to find some offense and want to make sure that he gets Smith back on the floor.
Arturo Dean gets it into the corner. Petar Kravakovic is now in the game. He's number 23 wearing the mask for FIU. Dean finally got something off the backboard, just won't fall. Smith in transition. Score the goal with some power.
Man, talking about a guy that knows how to score. How about just the speedy way of getting down and then being able to navigate and finish up at the rim.
Cutting to the hole. Williams has it blocked away by Ross. Here comes Pass. Score the goal with a foul.
And you've seen it, Eric. Either Smith is scoring himself or creating offense for his teammates. Second pass in transition that you'll see him head up again. See the big block. We're seeing the misplay, and then this is Smith going in from one side to the end. And then on the other end, the defensive possession, Ross comes up weak side. Smith gets it again. And you see him being able to get the ball up. Create offense on both ends.
So Pass at the line, trying to finish up the three-point play. 8-point lead, 6 minutes into our game. There were 2 Panthers in the vicinity. Dreaming of a fast break, wasn't meant to be. Dean crosses over Smith. Stays with Dean. Little Euro step, missed the layup. You got 18-year-old freshmen here in college doing Euro steps.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
Yeah. Smith still looking for that outside shot early. Pinckney. Nice 2-man game.
Nice play by Dean. Again, A lot of times when you see the point guard comes and one stops, Dean is one of those guys that turns around and peek and go into the basket, throw it to the lob for the big guy. You see, it looks like an offensive foul possible.
Nope, they're going to call it on Dean.
Watch that pick and roll, and you see Pinckney able to roll right to the basket. Burns a little late on that rotation.
These changes keep coming. Virtually every time you hear a whistle, Jeremy Ballard is taking someone out and putting someone new in. Javante Hawkins comes back into the game. The big man, Seth Pinckney, leaves. Both sides are now in the bonus with 13:01 remaining in our first half. So every single time you hear a whistle and there's a foul, from now until halftime, we'll have free throws. This is 1-and-1 for Smith. All right, Brian, you were an elite player in the SEC as a freshman like Terquavian Smith was. Obviously, that was many, many, many moons ago. Well, what was it like for a guy like you to try and improve on something in his sophomore year, and what should we look for out of Smith this year because of it?
Well, I think that he went through the evaluation for the NBA, and I think there were things that they said that they loved his scoring ability. One of the things, they wanted to see him be more of a playmaker and be able to run the team. That's why you see him not only playing on the ball, but off the ball, as you see Joyner go coast to coast, not being able to finish.
Mohorčić back into the game, rips away an offensive rebound. Joyner finds the line, and rips the triple.
Second chance opportunities. You see Paz being able to get that ball. You see Jeremy Ballard upset with his ball club calling the timeout.
Both ends of the floor.
And you see the fight from the Wolfpack again, being able to turn their defense. And you see Joyner putting pressure on the defense. Mohorčić coming up with that fight for the offensive rebound. And a lot of times, the best time to shoot a three is right after that second shot. And you see Joyner being able to knock it down. NC State on a nice little run. But back to your point, though, when you talk about Smith, you've seen one of the things that's been on display is his point guard making ability. We already know that he can score. At the next level, they want to see, can you run a ball club? You've seen him go back and forth from the point to the two. A lot of times you see on transition, getting up and looking ahead. Definitely on display with his point guard ability, being able to get his teammates involved.
So far in 2 games, Smith, 22.5 points per game, almost 6 assists per game. Consistent pressure in the backcourt from both sides in today's first half. Denver Jones over to Hawkins. Low pass. Cleared by Smith. Smith wants to run every time. Joyner. That's a nice little backcourt, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice because when you realize the pressure that Smith can put on the defense by being able to touch the point, the paint, forces the defense to converge. Joyner gets a knockdown, wide open three.
14-2 run for NC State. Smith now has 4 assists. Spin, layup missed by Gittens. Oh my. FIU frustrated, the ball's just not falling.
Wolfpack off to a good start. You see Smith putting pressure on it. He's a backcourt mate was like, yo, I'm wide open, baby. Get me down, knock it down to 3. Wolfpack up to a big lead, up by 14.
ACC basketball is brought to you by your local Ford dealer. The Works Nitro, available at worksnitro.com. And by the Fresh Market, voted #1 best supermarket in America. Well, NC State took a little bit of a while to get warm, but they're warm right now, folks, and their lead is 14.
Terquavian Smith put his imprint on this game again. Being able to get out the gate, creating offense for not only himself, but his teammates. Again, talk about his improved playmaking ability, and when he's not doing that, being able to get to the cup for the finish. But it's been all him in the first half, again, creating offense for all of his teammates. Wolfpack off to that lead right now, 22-8. A lot of it's been his ability. You see 1 for 6, the 4 points, but what's really been impressive, the 4 dimes.
And his backcourt mate, Jarkel Joyner's made a couple of 3-pointers. Look at the balance scoring. Already 7 different Wolfpack players have got a point.
But here's what I'm going to tell you, Eric. When you see right now he's 0 for 4 behind the arc, for a scorer, when you can get your other guys going, eventually your points are going to come because he's a volume shooter. I'm not worried. I'm sure Kevin Keats is not worried about him only having 4 points. His ability to get everybody else going is huge for them, as you see with them already with a 14-point lead.
Greg Gant has checked into the game. First time we've seen Gant. Gant gets it over to pass. Joyner, top of the key with Smith and Mawarchich rounding out the 5 for the Wolfpack. Joyner's made a pair. Give him 3. 3 consecutive triples for Joyner.
And Joyner's one of those guys that Kevin Keats said is the gym rat, always in the gym working on his game. And it's been contagious because a lot of the other guys are in there working on the game. Evident about him off to a hot start.
Joyner comes over from Ole Miss, just wanted to play in the ACC, see what it's all about. Another turnover forced by NC State. Joyner, that would have been 4 in a row. That was a heat check.
You know what it was, right? He decided instead of going for the layup, I'm feeling it, so I'm going to go ahead and go for it.
Now another horn means another substitution for FIU. Back into the game, Mohamed Sunogo. Also back into the game, John Williams Jr. NC State's going to take Joyner out of the game. He'll get commended by Kevin Keats on his way to the bench.
When you see the North Carolina State deflection there, FIU coming up with the ball. And again, you see so many teams in the ACC going down to non-conference teams. North Carolina State's got to have a little bit more focus. You see Hawkins come up short. But I love the intensity. And this is what you get from FIU. They're going to try to create some turnovers, and you see Smith with a heady play.
Smith just knocked it away from Williams, and the ball went off of Williams. So yet another turnover forced by NC State. They've already turned FIU over 11 times.
And this is Kevin Keats of old, because traditionally this is what his North Carolina State teams want to do. They want to extend you, they want to be able to get turnovers, and they want to get out in transition. Tempo is very important right now as you see them up 25-8. What's been working for them is getting those deflections, getting early offense.
Both teams are in the bonus, have been for a while. We haven't made it halfway through our first half. Smith, a committed drive, scores off the window.
Oh, talk about pulling it out of the bag. Dancing with the ball and then the acrobatic finish. So Smith come up, maybe took a shot in the eye on that last play.
Smith only 165 pounds, but he plays with that certain anger. Makes it seem like he's more than 165. Hawkins, Guadarrama. Finally, something falls from deep for FIU.
And that was set up by Hawkins being able to get into the paint, being able to first force the NC State players to come on. Guadarrama wide open for that 3.
That's the first three-pointer made for FIU. It ends a 19-2 run for NC State. Joyner back into the game, stops, starts, and is fouled. So Joyner goes to the line for a pair.
Again, we've highlighted Tarquavion Smith, and look at him being able to play. And you see the last time being able, it seemed that Guadarrama had a swipe at the ball to be able to come up with it. And again, like there was a missed foul, but how about his ability just to be able to score? We always highlight his three-point shot-making ability. Definitely a walking bucket.
Jarkel Joyner. Kevin Keats, if his team can keep it close, he's going to win a lot of ball games this year just because of what his backcourt can do at the free throw line. Smith and Joyner are both elite free throw shooters, and when you got elite free throw shooting guards, pretty easy to protect the lead.
Well, and also, you know, to have success in this league, you got to have good guard play. And the way they're playing right now is they've gotten back to the typical Kevin Keats playing where they're going to play up-tempo, turn you over, and to have some guys that can protect the rim and then definitely score. As you see yet another one.
Oh,
come on over here. I got you, young fella. Come on over here. Got you. You see Joyner going after that ball, coming right into your living room. You see your boy, I got you. I had to lock in the core. You saw that, right?
You protected me. Appreciate it. Kevin Keats has got his fellas playing hard, man. They've got an 18-point lead, and they're running over walls for him. Pinckney hands it off to Jones. Denver Jones, another field goal.
Nice penetration by Jones. And again, you know, FIU trying to chip away at that lead. Again, and yet another deflection.
FIU's got it back. John Williams, you heard that slap in the upper deck. He'll go to the line and shoot a pair.
Early in this first half, it's been a lot of NC State being able to get the deflections. As of late, FIU being able to get a few to get back in this game, hopefully.
2 free throws for Williams, grad transfer from Glenville State, Division II school in West Virginia. Now a message from Works Nitro.
Meet Works Nitro. Powerful tools for any project with gas-like power without the gas. Fueled by PowerShare batteries to give you the power to outperform.
2 free throws from Williams. Terquavian Smith is sitting now. Pass back into the game in the backcourt with Joyner. This is pass. 3 ball. And Jones was out of bounds when he received the pass. So he scored a turnover, number 12 for Jeremy Ballard's FIU Panthers. Jeremy Ballard is a disciple of Shaka Smart. It's been a long time, 2 different stints at VCU. Believes in that pressure habit defense.
How impressive has Jarkel Joyner been in this first half? Running this ball club, already 11 points.
Pass inside, score the goal.
Nice penetration by pass, being able to get right to the cup. If you're Peakman, you got to come over and help and leave Morchich. You can't give up a wide open layup.
Denver Jones, he has been really all the offense for FIU. He's got 11 of their 18 points.
Yeah, Jones has come out, and I like the penetration, being able to get him wide open. FIU's got to do a better job of containing the ball on this side and not allowing NC State to get those wide open threes or runs right to the basket.
Seven seconds on the shot clock. Joyner's already made 3 threes. Tough chance.
Oh, man. Talk about money. He sit back, dance on him for a minute there.
He has got 4 triples. He's going to be fun to watch this year. Mohorchik pokes it away. It'll stay with FIU. Into the corner, Williams. Missed everything. Joyner doesn't stop, does he?
Oh, man, you can tell it. He's feeling it. Eric, he's feeling it. You can tell because he was hunting that basket then.
16 first half points for Joyner. Arturo Dean gets a pair back.
Dean's got a nice little pep in his step as well. You see timeout. How about the action going back and forth? Again, Joyner saying, you know what, man, I'm going to go ahead and dance on him a little bit, a little step. So thanks for coming. Strike the poles, turn and let them know. Again, you've gotten a nice game going, and then putting the pressure to get downhill. NC State still holding on to a 16-point lead.
Jarkel Joyner has been the story here tonight in Raleigh.
And he's come out and he's put his imprint on this game offensively in the first half. Again, with his shot-making ability, being able to be set and get going, knocking down 3 after 3. And you can tell you when you're feeling it, when you get the chance, you know they got a couple of guys who will sit there and dance on you, and then step over and they're going to strike the poles and go vogue on him. Then you realize that he's really feeling it. Then you start hunting your baskets, gets in there 1-on-4, and he was like, you know what? He cannot guard me. I'm putting it on the head, on his back, and his neck. You see 16 points. 5 for 8, but more impressive, 4 for 5 from behind the arc, scoring 16 of North Carolina State's 20 already, last 20.
Well, he's been there and done that. This is a man who's been around the game of college basketball for a while. His 5th Division I season. Spent 2 years out in the WAC playing for Cal State Bakersfield. 2 seasons in the SEC playing for his hometown team. He's from Oxford, Mississippi. Played at Ole Miss. And now giving the ACC a try. And I'm here to tell you, he's got a chance to be really good this year. Coming off the bench and ringing the bell. How about that?
But
everyone getting involved.
But Eric, you see the fact that the way that Joyner has been able to score, as you see the penetration not coming up short. Horsch is coming up. Joyner being able to score like that, now the defense has to pay more attention to his penetration, and then he's able to penetrate and get the other guys wide open shots.
L.J. Thomas has been in the game for all of about 30 seconds. He's already ripped a triple. Morcell, confident drive, misses the floater. FIU in trouble, almost getting doubled. Dean. Still no Jerquavian Smith. He's getting a long break this time. Joyner. Ball fell right in the lap of Thomas. He's got 2 buckets.
Thomas is one of those guys kind of being the recipient of being at the right place at the right time. Ball falls at you. Horsch comes up with that steal.
FIU coming out of Conference USA. Based in Miami, Florida. Trap in the corner, and the Panthers have to call a timeout. So we've got a timeout with 5:13 remaining in our first half. NC State trying to get to 3-0 already this season. A win over Austin Peay, a win over Campbell. This is their 3rd consecutive home game. They've got another home game coming up on Saturday against Elon just down the road. We had a nice chat with Kevin Keats pregame. Give us the lowdown on who he thinks has got a chance to be special this year and what his team needs to do. He's got to get out of the doldrums that affected him last year.
Well, I think what most important is for him to have chemistry with the new guys and the guys that are returning. We talked about the fact that they've got 5 transfers in. It's important when you have this non-conference schedule to be able to build the chemistry and get back to the identity that he normally has as far as being an up-tempo defense-first team.
Little up and under is foiled. That's Jaden Brewer. Ran into a wall by the name of DJ Burns. Joyner the misfire. Denver Jones.
Nice finish by Jones. And you see Giddens being able to push the ball. And again, if FIU is going to get back into this game, they got to get stops and get those easy transition layups.
Morcell. 3-ball, Casey Morcell.
Great ball movement. The best way to be able to beat a trap is you go east to west. And then ball movement, don't let the ball stick. You see Morcell coming up with yet another 3. Wolfpack already got 7 makes from behind the arc.
Last game on Friday against Campbell, they had 4 in 40 minutes. They were 4 for 17 from behind the arc. So today is a brand new day for the Wolfpack. Ball last touched by NC State. 15 seconds to shoot for FIU.
The storyline for North Carolina State as they've got this lead open to 22 is that they've been able to get easy transition buckets from getting deflections. They've limited FIU being able to get to the paint. They've kind of flustered them on offense, and then the hot shooting all the way around. Raquel Joyner has put his imprint on this first half.
Freshman Gittens. Sanogo, very patient. First bucket for Sanogo.
Nice move by Sanogo, being able to get right into Burns' body and try to get into the big fella's body.
Still no Jerquavian Smith. He's had a chance to sit down for a long while, and the offense hasn't missed a beat. Morcell. How did he find a look at the basket?
And Morcell sold that because, again, he'd already knocked down a couple of threes. Gave him a little bit of a shot fake, and a lot of times you can get a guy on his tippy toes, then you turn around and his nice little straight line drop to the basket.
How about this Denver Jones kid? His team's getting skunked right now, but he's got 16.
And he's been the positive force as far as offense.
Last touched by NC State. It's FIU basketball.
And again, you see Morcell going there with a little up and under and being able to go. And then you see Smith over there like, did he get it? Oh, yes. Look at, show it to him. flex on him.
And other games to tell you about: Wake Forest in overtime beating Utah Valley. Kansas and Duke delayed, and NC State taking care of business up by 12 on Gardner-Webb. Final 2:50 of our first half. Still not on the floor for NC State. Terquavian Smith. Look at the line for Terquavian. Kevin Keats has got to be pleased. 6 points, okay, but 5 assists and 4 steals.
Well,
solid 4 games.
And that shows that the improvement. You and I talked about, if you're going to play at the next level, what are some of the things you need to work on? Definitely display his playmaking ability, being able to get his teammates involved, and then his defensive presence has definitely been key.
This is Mohamed Sanogo at the line, misses, and the ball goes right back to NC State. Transition 3, Morcell. He's been working on that stroke.
And you can tell him he's finishing because he's feeling it, because he had a chance to go in for a layup. Saw him out at the beginning of warm-ups working on those threes. Definitely paying off in this first half for him.
He's now in double figures, 11 points for Morcell. Denver Jones has been the story for FIU. He's got 16. Oh my goodness, that is a banked off the glass 3 with a foul. Kravakovic, a chance for a 4-point play. He banks the 3 off the window.
And look at the pass, and then again, you see from the side and the foul.
I kind of think he may have meant to do that. No?
Nah, I'm going to say no, but I'm going to give him benefit. After the game, he needs to make sure he buys himself a lottery ticket, too.
In a normal basketball game, Division I or the NBA or internationally, have you ever seen anyone intentionally shoot a 3 off the window?
Not from the corner.
He had a little bit of an angle on the wing, a little bit of an angle. Misses the chance for the 4-point play. It's a good horse shot. Pass breaks the pressure by himself. Missed the layup. Numbers for FIU if they hurry. Waterama. 2 minutes to play in our first half. Waterama.
Really impressed with Joyner and just how he's running this ball club. Knows when to hunt his offense, when to step out and run the offense.
Joyner, a team-high 16 points. He's got the ball up high. Big man, DJ Burns. Lefty jumper. Clean look. Should have used the window. There for a reason. Kevin Keats, thrilled to have the Panthers in the building. He thinks this is the type of team that his team needs to learn to play against.
And I thought it was interesting when he looked at his non-conference schedule, you always try to match up with teams that you feel like you're going to be teams that you're going to match in conference. You see the blow by.
How quick was that?
My God.
How quick is Jarkel Joyner?
And what he did is that he froze him, Eric, and just kind of gave him a little bit of a hezzy. You see the penetration and then the finish.
John Williams.
By Williams. And one of the things you've seen by Joyner, you see.
Look at Morcell.
Morcell said, I'm going to go for a little 2-for-1. Looked at the shot clock and realized, there's a chance, but you know what? I'm feeling it.
He's got 14, so Morcell and Joyner have combined for 32 first-half points. They have as many points themselves as FIU has as a team. Chance to add. Here comes Joyner with his hair on fire. Jarkel Joyner.
Oh, baby. Oh, look at him. He's like, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Let me hear it.
Is the exclamation point for a superlative first half for NC State. 21 points for Jarkel Joyner in the 20 minutes of our first half.
And we came in highlighting Jaquarian Joyner. You see, all night long, it's been Joyner. Joyner's like, you know what? I'm going for it, baby. If you don't feel me, if you don't know, now you know. You see Smith saying, hey, baby, I am definitely feeling it. Big half by North Carolina State.
To the Toyota halftime report. We are at PNC Arena, Raleigh, North Carolina. So far, so good for Kevin Keats and the NC State Wolfpack. They're trying to get 3-0. They've got a nice working margin. 57-32 is their lead over FIU. With my partner, Brian Oliver, I am Eric Collins. We came into this game expecting to see Terquavian Smith and the wonderful things he can do. Well, we did see some of that, but he's got a lot of help this year as well. Let's take a look at Terquavian Smith and his running mates.
Well, we talk about the fact that how good he is as a scorer. I thought that his playmaking ability was on display as well. Coming out, trying to look for his teammates and getting them involved. You saw him being able to set them up, drop dime after dime. And then after that, realized, hey, I can go get my offense at any time. This is the guy that, when he decides to go, had a well-balanced first half, being able to come up with some buckets as well. But then again, he wasn't the show.
His backcourt mate, Jarkel Joyner, came into this game with just one made three in 2 games. Well, he surpassed that in a big way.
Well, and you saw he was able to come out and get wide open looks. And again, with a guy like that that's been putting in the work, when you see a couple of buckets go, then it got to the point where he got a nice little groove and a little rhythm. And again, I talk with a dance on him, make the music with your mouth fizz, knock it down that 3. And again, he was one of those guys, again, you could tell, started hunting his offense, and that was one of the keys, again, at the very end of the half, being able to close it out and say, you know what, I'm feeling it. If you don't know me, now you know. But it was one of those big first halves for both of them.
Take a look at the fresh market, discover the best. It's the two heads, the backcourt of Smith and Joyner, both putting up numbers. And look at the bottom part of your screen. We need to talk a little bit on Casey Morcell with 14 points for him.
And Morcell is another guy that's highly dependent on his defense, had a really good offensive half, getting the 14 efficient, 5 for 7, and also had 5 boards to go along with it.
All right, the big story now is, can they keep it up? Very good for 20 minutes, but can you do it for 40? That's what Kevin Keats wants to find out. We'll step aside. We come back, much more coming your way. It's Tuesday evening basketball in Raleigh. So far, so good for the Wolfpack. We are all saddened by the shocking news from Sunday night in Charlottesville, where 3 University of Virginia student athletes were shot and killed, and 2 others injured. Deshaun Perry was a 4th-year student and linebacker from Miami. Devin Chandler, a 2nd-year student and wide receiver from Huntersville, North Carolina. And Lavelle Davis Jr., a 3rd-year student and wide receiver from Dorchester, South Carolina. They were all killed. Mike Hollins, a 4th-year student and running back from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, is one of the injured. Virginia head football coach Tony Elliott said, "These were incredible young men with huge aspirations and extremely bright futures. Our hearts ache for their families, their classmates, and their friends. These precious young men were called away too soon. We are all fortunate to have them be a part of our lives. They touched us, inspired us, and worked incredibly hard as representatives of our program, university, and community. Rest in peace, young men." Virginia Athletics Director Carla Williams adding, "As a mother of 3 children, I ache for the parents and family members. We lost 3 talented and bright young men. We will never see what their impact on the world would have been, but we will never forget their impact on us." Last night, thousands attended a vigil on the south lawn of the grounds and participated in a moment of silence to honor the victims. This is a challenging and an emotional time for the University of Virginia and the Charlottesville community. Our hearts go out to them during this tragic time. Well, basketball coaches are notoriously a grumpy lot. Usually they can find a problem with anything they see, but I'm going to have a hard time thinking that Kevin Keats has got any beef with what his team did in the first 20 minutes.
Well, we talked about the threes. How about 10 for 19 from behind the arc? Then 13 forced turnovers, 18, leading to 20 fast break points. And the other thing for Terquavian Smith, 6 points, 5 assists, and 4 steals in only 10 minutes.
NC State trying to get to 3-0. They're going to start our second half with a little bit of a wrinkle. At the beginning of the game, Dusan Mahorcic was in the post. He's not starting our second half. Instead, it's going to be DJ Burns running with the starters. FIU has the basketball. Visitors from Miami. Just 32 points in the first half. Loose ball, turnover. Here comes Joyner on the run out. Elbow jumper. And that's unusual. When you get a wedgie on a second bounce on the rim.
And it was a soft bounce, too.
That's... When the ball gets wedged there, it is alternate possession, or possession arrow favors NC State.
You see the jump shot, and it was a soft shot, and then second bounce, and...
Usually wedges when it goes straight in there. Wolfpack with the basketball. This is Smith. May have been touched. I think that was Pinckney who got a hand on it. Oh, look at Burns saving the day. Looked like that was going to be a layup for Gittins.
When you see Gittins going right, what it looks like to be an easy one, and then how about the big fella being able to hustle back and get his hand on the ball?
Denver Jones was the offensive weapon for FIU in the first half. Had 16 points, misses that attempt. Smith quickly the other way. It's going up. Wow, Pinckney took it from him.
Good defense by Pinckney to recover, losing his length.
Another turnover forced by NC State. That was a tough pass to handle. That had some spin on it. And Morsell took his eye off it just for a moment.
And you know, Morsell, the way he was shooting the ball, he was like, well, you know what, 3-ball corner pocket. All I got to do is get those laces lined up.
If you squint a little bit, when you look at Morsell, you see a little bit of Russell Westbrook, don't you?
Yeah, when you see his build and the fact that just how he is, you see yet another turnover.
All right, we've got a timeout on the floor. We haven't even played a full minute here in our second half. 25-point lead for NC State. .58 seconds into our second half. NC State on top of FIU by 25. Stay tuned for a fast break presented by your local Ford dealer. That's coming up. FIU with the basketball, trying to get some offense going from someone other than Denver Jones. Well, maybe just keep with Jones. Jones is fouled. He'll go to the line.
Good penetration by Jones. And again, for FIU, in order for them to chip away at this lead, they've got to do it on both ends of the floor. NC State doing a good job of being able to continue to fluster them. You see right now, 16 points, 2 steals. The rest of the team, 16 points, 6 for 19.
That's Jeremy Ballard, up-and-comer, coaching world. His team competes in Conference USA. Smith waits for Joyner to cross over the timeline. Well done. Wolfpack 2-0. Try to get to 3-0 before a weekend game against Elon. Burns didn't realize how open he was.
Burns was surprised. He was expecting to have Pinckney in his daylight. He realized that he was wide open.
A lot of potential for Burns to do damage in the ACC this year. Told you about his time at Winthrop last year, Big South Player of the Year. He originally began his college experience in the SEC. He's going to play at Tennessee. That didn't work out. Floater missed by Gittins. And Brian, maybe that's the final thing that Kevin Keats wants to see tonight. He's seen his perimeter players do well. Maybe some interior offense from someone?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things, especially when you get into conference play, you're not going to be able to rely, well, Smith knocking down that 3, but night in and night out, you're not going to be able to rely on your guards all the time. You're talking about playing against the Carolinas and the Dukes, you know, the Virginias that's got really big front courts. You got to be able to score inside as well.
Pass deflected by Morsell, but it stays with FIU. FIU just 1 point here in the second half. Gittins changes that around. That's a 3 for the freshman.
You see, again, FIU slowly trying to chip away at this. Got to get stops on this other end. Right now, NC State's doing a good job of being able to spread them out, run their offense, and get high-quality shots.
Big man Burns got slapped. Waterama got him. And Burns will go to the line.
Talking about slap, did you see the clear out he did on Bigby? Wow, talking about being able to clear some space there.
So Burns 1 for 2 at the line back in the first half. Many considered him to be the third best high school player in his class coming out of South Carolina a couple of years ago. Someone by the name of Zion Williamson was number 1. Someone by the name of John Morant was number 2. And then you got DJ Burns.
The first two seem like they might be pretty decent players. You know, might have nice opportunity makes, you know.
How did John Morant get out of the ACC? I'm sure that's a story for another day.
But going back to Burns and talking to Kevin Keeks, they're really impressed with him. Not so much with his scoring ability, but his IQ as far as how he is as a passer. And you've seen with those free throws, got a real nice soft touch.
Arturo Dean comes in to run the point for FIU. This is Dean. Leaves it for Gittins and a foul.
You've seen one of the guys for FIU and Dean. It seems like he's got a nice little skill set and being a little bounce to him where he can get into the lane. Multiple occasions being able to penetrate and get other guys opportunities wide open.
Dean into the paint. Got his own miss. Oh, smallest man on the floor missed twice in the paint. Morcell the other way.
Good pass ahead by Joyner. Morcell realized he had Guadarrama trailing him, being able to use the rim to offset that.
Left-handed layup, Gittins. He was scoreless in the first half, now got 5 here in our second half. Joyner. Been doing that all night long.
And I'm really impressed with Joyner because he plays under control. You know, he's real strong, athletic, being able to get to a point. I love that pull-up mid-range jumper he showed.
For those of you wondering, the career high for Joyner in points is 34. Did that against Cal Baptist back in 2019. Sanogo works the baseline, two-handed chin up.
Again, nice penetration by Dean, getting over to Sanogo. Sanogo being able to finish at the rim, and Guadarrama almost comes up with the steal.
Burns, out of control. Offensive foul.
We've talked, partner, about Jarkel Joyner being able to do his thing. You see picking up in the second half where he left off in the first. Again, this has been all North Carolina State.
It's been a wild Tuesday night. Louisville lost again. App State takes them down. Colgate, they have owned Jim Boeheim in Syracuse in recent years. Clemson a winner. Miami a winner.
You see Carolina being able to get with Gardner-Webb. Close one by 6. Baycott held to 10 points. How about Caleb Love? Off to a really good start in the season. 20 points and 4 assists.
FIU's got the basketball down by 26. At its worst, they were down by 28. Mohorcic into the game for the first time in the second half. Ball poked away from Dean. Pass with the steal. Traquavian Smith, that's an easy 2 for him.
If you're FIU, you think that if you're ever going to stop the ball, you may want to stop a guy in Smith. You don't want to give him any freebies. I wouldn't say that they've done a good job of containing him, but you would think that scouting reports say, hey, this guy's pretty good.
It's been a well-rounded floor game for Traquavian Smith. Hasn't been the leading scorer like he normally is. He ceded that honor to Jarkel Joyner, but also Casey Morcell putting up points. John Williams is fouled.
You've heard Kevin Keats talk to us earlier about how important chemistry is with this team with all the newcomers. And when you have your best player that may not be having the offensive night that he should have normally, kind of sit back and take a back seat and let everyone else get going. That says a lot for the chemistry.
Dean, we play on. Numbers for NC State. Smith, Morcell. Another assist for Smith.
Yep, another one. And you saw Morcell being able to run, and that's what it means to a lot of players, when you know if you're going to run hard, you're going to be the recipient being able to finish at the rim.
Marcel's got 18. Another chin-up. Sanogo, party at the rim for number 33.
Yeah, Sanogo's got that long length and that bounce. Being able to finish and get that penetration from Williams.
14 minutes of change remaining in our ball game. Last year, NC State 11-21 overall, 4-16 in the ACC. Finished their campaign by losing 5 in a row. Marcel, a rare miss. He was 4 from behind the arc in the first half. Ball stolen away. Jack Clark got it for NC State. Dean gets it right back.
Dun, 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 dun.
Williams, he deserved that. Got the offensive rebound and kept the ball with the Panthers.
Yeah, Williams has come off the bench and has been really pleasant for FIU, being able to penetrate, coming up with that basket. Nice energy. NC State doing a good job of being able to get out in transition. You see nice little pass from Smith over to Marcel.
26 fast break points. 26 of the 70.
And a lot of that too, Eric, is because they've been able to get the deflections and the turnovers. And you know, typical of Kevin Keith's older ball clubs is that they want to get out in transition, be able to get those easy buckets. And you see Smith coming up, playing with a little too much. Williams being able to nice little acrobatic finish.
John Williams, the transfer from Division II Glenville State, which is in West Virginia. He's doing a pretty good job here on the big stage. And another turnover. Smith having a hard time. Guadarrama. Look at the Guadarrama. All right. The New Hampshire transfer. That's now the third second half dunk for FIU. 8-0 run. It's the closest FIU's been in a long while. Pass needs some help. Mahorcic. Oh, no, a blocking call. That could have went either way.
It's a good thing that I'm sitting over here next to you. I don't know if I had that right angle, because you look at Mahorcic, first you see pass on the floor. Did a good job of being able to not turn over, and then, yeah, he was still moving. He wasn't set. That's why I'm sitting here next to you and not out there with a whistle in my mouth.
L.J. Thomas comes in. He was productive in a short stint in the first half. Thomas, Mahorcic, Ross, Joyner, and Smith score the goal. That's Ernest Ross.
You see poor communication by FIU, normally between Williams. That should have been a switch on that back screen. You saw Ross getting right over. Watch this back screen. No communication. Ross comes in. Defender's late. And again, good back screen, or a whiff of a screen, and then Ross gets wide open, absorbs that contact. So Giddens a little late.
Brian Free, young team, just trying to get to know each other. A lot of transfers to NC State. Do you learn to play with each other better in games or in practice?
Oh, absolutely. It's the games, because it's nothing like game time that when you get a chance to have live action, to be able to put a lot of the sets into play.
Thomas can stroke it.
You see Thomas, and again, what you realize you've seen with this NC State, that they're flying around, and then Kevin Keith is going to give you an opportunity to say, you see a nice little pump fake, a Guadarrama, Ross over to recover. But back to the point, being able to play, to have that live action. This team right now has shown that they are swarming around, being able to create turnovers and get out in the break. A very good way of being able to build a chemistry, camaraderie.
Williams lost it. Thomas, first man on the floor. This kid's earning some playing time. Smith. Edmond shooting like he normally does from behind the arc. Williams with a wild left-handed sweeping hook.
And how about Williams? He's giving himself a chance tonight because you've seen him being able to come up with some deflections, some steals, nice moves to the basket.
Smith is going to keep firing. Just hadn't met his night from deep. Quavian Smith came into this game 43% from behind the arc, 7 for 16. Hadn't been close to that percentage this evening. Let's protect the paint, brought to you by CPI Security.
And you've seen all night long, it's been the defense from North Carolina State that's been able to be strong, protecting that basket and leading out to them getting in transition. And what you've seen is that Kevin Keys has talked about being able to have his bigs be able to come up big, and they have done that all night long. And that is your CPI Security protecting the paint.
Love the energy on a Tuesday night. NC State, they take Terquavian Smith out of the ball game. Maybe we'll see him again, don't know. 11:18 remaining in our second half. If his night is over, 15 points, make that 11 points with 6 assists for Smith.
And if you're Kevin Keys, when you look at it, the thing that stands out is not that he may not have shot the ball well, is that in spite of that, he still impacted the game. You see nice penetration and finish by Jones.
Jones can elevate.
Yeah, he can go.
LJ Thomas in trouble in the backcourt. Breaks it. This now the 6th season here in Raleigh for Kevin Keats. Last season was a dud. Mahorcic with the left-handed side.
We saw a little 4-out action where you had Mahorcic down there. Good patience, being able to allow him time to get that ball where he wanted and being able to finish.
I'll tell you what, Thomas has just been a walking bruise. He's been knocked to the floor. He's been the first on the floor to get loose balls. He's made every shot he's taken.
But isn't that typical of the guys that, you know, for Kevin Keats that he wants to have on the floor? Guys are going to be tough. They're going to play defense. They're going to have a nose for the ball. And what he's shown is that he can make a basket, he can handle the rock, and then he can defend and go get a rebound.
And he's already got that good college body as a true freshman. Clark. Missed opportunity. He had Mahorcic. Mahorcic didn't get the pass, so he took it off the rim.
When you see Mahorcic realizing that he's right there, it was a nice move by Clark, being able to absorb the contact, couldn't finish. Good putback by Mahorcic.
Hawkins off the mark. Joyner. Another three.
That's mean. That's mean. And you saw Joyner realize that he stepped right in the rhythm.
He's got 26 points. He's made 6 3-pointers.
Wow,
John Williams gets another
again.
2. Mahorcic pushed to the back. That's a dangerous play. Mahorcic going full steam, gets knocked to the floor. He'll have free throws.
Again, Eric, the guy that really stands out for me is Joyner. When you look at once this NC State team gets into conference play, playing at home and playing on the road, it is really important to be able to have good guard play. Like how solid he is and how he's been really strong tonight.
All right, Dusan Mahorcic from Serbia. Folks, this is the 6th different team he's played on in the last 6 years. Went to high school in the Chicagoland area, started at a Division II school, then transferred to a junior college, then played at Illinois State, and then last year was at Utah, and now he's at NC State. That's 6 different schools in 6 years. How confusing is that?
But I tell you what's not confusing is the fact that he's a big, strong body that with their style of play can switch out, can defend down low and rebound. Definitely something that they need for this team.
Uh-oh. Seth Pinckney hits the deck hard. Hopefully just more scared than anything.
Always good to see him bounce up from that. You see on the replay, you see pass down, awkward foul, and you see Thomas right there, and Pinckney comes down. awkward, but always good to see the big fella be able to jump up right after that.
7'1", 200 pounds from Philadelphia. Started his college experience at Quinnipiac.
If I could still grow hair, I wonder if I could pull that off.
1 out of 2 for Pinckney.
Trust me, if I could still grow hair, I want to have locks like Jeremy Ballard. You got the bouncy curls.
Makes you want to ask him what kind of shampoo you're using. What kind of conditioner does that? Glorious. Joyner's been a shooting star. First year in the program, coming over from Ole Miss. He led Ole Miss in scoring last year. Ross, little pull-up.
Little up-pick action for Ross. And again, going back to Joyner, I'm really impressed at his ability, not only just to score, but to run the ball club and get them in their sets. You see Clark almost come up with that steal.
Stays with FIU, still a whole bunch of time on that shot clock. Changes for both sides. Arturo Dean comes back in. True freshman from Miami.
You see Smith back in the game. Didn't think we'd see him.
Needs to get some points. Came into this one averaging 22.5. He has only got 11 right now.
So what you're telling me in this last
be chucking it
9 minutes, he's going to give himself a chance.
He's going to get his. That's how you say it. He's going to get his. Greg Gant is on the floor as well for NC State. Hawkins tried to get it to Pinckney. Saved by Dean.
Oh,
and
nice
Pinckney.
finish.
Vicious.
How about Dean? Head up, realizing it was a broken play, being able to get that ball and get it right over to Pinckney.
Here's Smith. Trying to get his. Extra pass into the corner. Jones has been quieted here in the second half. Mohorčić, just too much beef.
Yeah, that was a little bully. He was like, yeah, he's too small. That's a little bully ball down here. He kind of put Pinckney right there, under the rim.
Last touched by Dean. So it's NC State basketball when we return. So far, so good. Kevin Keats and the Wolfpack looking to get to 3-0 on the young season. NC State on top of FIU by 30, 7:48 remaining in our game. NC State, they've played 10 players, all but one have scored. The only Wolfpack player who's appeared in the game who hasn't scored, Greg Gant, but he's only played 6 minutes. Your leading scorer, Jarkel Joyner with 26, Craig Morcell with 18.
Very important also, 20 bench points. One of the things, again, Kevin Keats, you see Dean come up with the steal and the finish.
Yeah, up note for NC State. Terquavian Smith, who came in really the only guy shooting a good ball from behind the arc. Well, he's 1 for 8 shooting three-pointers today. But everyone else, not named Terquavian Smith, 12 for 19.
And that's the positive side. Again, when you look at this score and seeing that they're up by 28, when you look at the others, that's who you're going to be able to depend on, because you know what you're going to get from Smith night in and night out. This is a guy that could give you easy 25 in his sleep. It's the other guys that you're going to have to depend on going forward.
Foul on Dean, his third. Pass back in to run the point. Joiners sit right now. So pass, Mohorčić, Smith, Gant, and Morcell. Mohorčić is going to be tough this year. It's going to be interesting to see when it's a fair fight, when there's other bodies like his that he's going against, but he's a talented player.
Well, here's the thing you want to do. You want to give him touches. You want to give him an opportunity to be able to work on his game down low. You see he does a good job of being able to use that wide frame to seal. But like you say, how does it matter when he goes up against Armando Bacot and some of the other bigs in the conference?
These non-conference games are important for NC State, just as they try and get last year's bad mojo out of their system. Regular season ended with 5 consecutive losses. Had to think about that all summer long. So a win today to get to 3-0, and all's right in the world.
And it's also good for the conference again. These non-conference games are really good as you go into, because some of these teams will have a chance to play against some ranked teams, and you get your nice rhythm early, get you an opportunity to get set and then get going for the conference.
Pass has Mohorčić in front of him. And the big man, all he's looking for is to hit someone. Misses the shot. Smith gets the follow. Gittins straight to the rim.
Nice move to the basket for Gittins. Okay.
Off the window and in for Smith. He's got the last 4 points for NC State.
He said, hey, you know what, PNC Bank, man, I got that bank account. You know, my card is always working.
Wilcox hasn't played much. And Dean somehow got that to go.
And Dean shown that he's an explosive guard that's always trying to get downhill. Energetic player, too.
Morcell. That was a line drive. That never got more than 10.5 feet in the air.
He had no thoughts whatsoever of going to the basket. He was like, you know what, man, I'm working on my jumper, trying to make sure I get my three-point percentage up. Got right at the line.
He's got 21. His career high is 22. Rolling to the basket, Mohorčić spells it out. And a foul committed by Wilcox. That stopped the run out for Kevin Keats, NC State Wolfpack. All right, last season, just 11 wins. NC State 4-16 in their conference games. This year, though, picked 10th. You never know. And it's all going to depend on some of the new players, the new faces. Guys like Jarkel Joyner, Dusan Mohorčić, guys like DJ Burns, who's just checked in off the bench. What can they deliver?
I think once you get past the initial picks of a Carolina, Duke, Virginia, then you see teams, you know, right underneath it. You know, Virginia Tech. That Virginia Tech are the reigning ACC champions. Miami. Then there's a slot of teams that, you know, go from 5 or 6 down to about 10 that you're going to see some jockeying in position. And interesting to see how these teams are able to finish out before they get into conference play.
2 free throws for Pass. He's got 7 off the bench. 5.5 minutes remaining. Sanogo. Hit the 5-minute mark, and NC State is knocking on the door of 100 points.
And you hear the fans right now howling for a foul. They were like, they want chicken. Hey. A little pressure for Sanogo right now. You see everybody wants free Chick-fil-A.
In a 35-point game. Place is going nuts about a free throw.
No chicken for you at this time.
I don't want the same kind of excitement. When NC State gets to 100 points, they could do it right here. It's rare when you see a college team get to 100 points with 5 minutes left in the game.
You become a fan favorite if you foul them again and put them at the right.
Pass gets behind the line. Look at that one-handed rebound by Morcell. That's weight room work. Thomas.
Oh, nice move by Thomas.
L.J. Thomas have a night.
And again, you know, when we're talking to Kevin Keese, he talks about his newcomers and how they blend with the grad transfers. You see Williams going downtown again.
That's all he does. Just attacks the rim. Let's see if they can get Burns involved. Corner three, Morcell. That's a
Why not? Why not?
High for Casey Morcell.
Why not? Morcell has definitely put his offense on display. We talked about the fact that he came out hunting his offense, good defensive player. And then a pick.
What do you got, Morcell? Adding to his career high, points 25 and 26.
Talking about a route.
Largest lead of the night. 39. And we've got a timeout on the floor.
Eric, I'm going to ask you, which one of these fans did you think they pick NC State to win big tonight? That guy.
ACC basketball is brought to you by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today. Toyota, let's go places. And by CPI Security. CPI home security that protects what matters most. Really good performance by NC State here at PNC Arena on a Tuesday night. They lead by 39 over FIU. Offense has just come in waves for NC State. Everyone helping out. Sonogo is fouled, and everyone in the building is on edge, as we'll have free throws for Mohamed Sonogo. Look at this three-headed monster. We actually could have named some other guys on this list. Joyner, Morcell, and Smith.
But look at the numbers. I mean, by Joyner, 26, 6 for 8 from behind the arc, and then Morcell, same is 26, 6 for 7. And even Smith didn't have a great shooting night. See the 15, you see the crowd clamoring for free chicken.
Uh-oh. 2 consecutive, and everyone's a winner.
You know, I think maybe I should pull out my app, man, to make sure I want free chicken, too.
I think he's going to hit it.
Hey! Ho-ho!
Everyone loves a free meal.
You would have thought that someone just hit the game winner for the game, right?
What percentage of people in the building are actually going to claim, you know? But a small percentage. Who knows? Unscientific thought.
But it's the hoopla around it, though.
First playing time so far in our ball game for Ebenezer Dewana. He wears number 21. This is Dewana. So an interesting 5 on the floor as Kevin Keats has gone deep into his bench for the final 3 minutes. Dewana, Ross, Gant, Pass, and Thomas. And now the entire bench has been emptied. Jordan Snell, number 22, comes into our ball game. Alex Nunnally, number 20, comes into the ball game. And also Chase Graham. He wears number 12. Welcome to the game, Chase.
Now, Eric, if you really want to hear the fans clamoring, then every time the players from NC State get the ball, all you're going to hear them say is, shoot, shoot.
Thomas hasn't missed today. Didn't want to put that in jeopardy. This is Dewana with the left hand. Clean block by Sonogo.
Oh.
Hey, a little moon ball coming off the bench. That's Jaden Brewer, his first bucket. Where you been, partner? L.J. Thomas coast to coast. That's his first miss in the ball game.
And it's probably the easiest shot he had all night.
He was gassed from breaking the full court pressure. Oh my goodness, Brower! Every time he touches it, it goes in.
Go get it, Earl Jerry! Go, 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 get to the court.
Final 2:05. Get it back to Nunnally. Thomas had been 4 for 4. He's missed his last 2 shots. Pretty soon he's going to realize he needs to pass it to the walk-ons. Final 140. FIU, they'll have a couple of days off. They'll next be in action over the weekend. They're going to take on Bryant. Bryant, school out of Rhode Island. They go down to Miami to take on FIU. NC State, they're going to have a couple days off. They'll play on this floor on Saturday against Elon. Get in there. Brewer, everything he puts up had been going in. All right, Graham, now's your chance. Chase Graham one-on-one at the wing. Final thoughts, what you saw at NC State tonight, Brian?
Well, I thought that obviously they shot the ball and being able to create a lot of their points off of the turnovers. So far, 24 turnovers. Excuse me, 21 turnovers for 21 points, and then 34 fast break points. Talked about the balance scoring, 21 assists on 38 made field goals. And then the bench stood out for them, too.
All right, what's the thing that you're going to want to see for them to continue this in that schedule upcoming? What's going to be the most important thing that they're going to need to do to prove themselves in your eyes?
I think it's the defense. It's one of the things that they were lacking last year. I think that being able to come out and play up-tempo and force the other team into turnovers, get out in fast break. And then the other guys, again, knowing that you got a guy in Joyner that played really well, Morcell, you want to be able to see if you can get the balanced attack like they did tonight.
Well, we've probably seen our last shot of the night. It is going to be a 33-point win for Kevin Keats. Two men that respect each other, Kevin Keats, Jeremy Ballard meeting at half court. And this one is over. Congratulations to NC State. The Wolfpack moved to 3-0, looking for a bounce-back season. So far, so good. First loss on the year for FIU. They fall to 2-1.
Yeah, I thought that it was really good. NC State came out from the beginning, was able to put their impression on this game. Good defense, getting deflections, getting out in transition. They limited FIU in what they wanted to do. So very good positive sign for Kevin Keats and his North Carolina State ball club.
Does Terquavian Smith still need to be the bell cow for NC State? Does he need to average 25 points tonight for this team to be successful? Or have you seen enough out of Jarkel Joyner to say, you know what? Maybe we scale him back a little bit. Maybe he just becomes an all-around type of guy, and they just rely on who gets the hot hand every single night.
Well, I think that Joyner's going to play a big part in this. And again, you want your superstar to be your superstar because there are going to be times where you're going to need to rely on that, especially when you're on the road. But you do want a more balanced attack. I think that's one of the things of Kevin Keats. He's looking for that because, again, to go with the defense, you still want to have guys that can give you points and buckets whenever needed.
Kevin Keats talking to us before the game today, and he was saying he was excited to play FIU because of the style in which the Panthers play. They like to play full court. We saw that. They like to scatter things around and make it difficult to do things. There's going to be games like this coming up this season where NC State is going to face a team very similar to what they saw like tonight.
And I think it's good practice for them because when you get a chance to play these teams, it's going to give you some kind of an idea of what you're going to face later on. Gives you an early opportunity to be able to prepare for what you're going to see in conference play.
All right, let's take a look at the final numbers, what we saw through 40 minutes. And it's going to be a lot to smile about if you're an NC State fan. 51% shooting, 15 made three-pointers. Good golly.
Well, the thing for me is, again, you looked at the forced turnovers, 22 turnovers for points off returns at 26, the fast break, 34 points. I think that's what he wants to do is to be able to get that up-tempo, creating that offense from your defense, and it sure doesn't hurt to be able to knock down 15 three-pointers.
That just shows you what they were doing defensively, forcing all those turnovers. if FIU comes on the road and shoots 53% in NC State's building and they still get waxed by 33.
Yeah, and when we look at the number of assists that they had and how everything was spread, it's one of those nights that you didn't really need your superstar to be a superstar. Always good when you're able to win games from your defense, from balance and scoring, and you had other guys that typically don't step up, had huge nights for him tonight.
Yeah, one final thought. Let's talk a little bit about Casey Morcell. This is a guy who's been in the program for a while. We talk so much about transfers, new guys to the program. This is a guy who's been in the program for a handful of years and just gotten better.
And what we've realized is that it's him putting the work in. We talked to Kevin Keats. He said this guy's a gym rat. We saw him out here working on those shots in pregame. Shows off that when you put in the work, you get the results. And a good thing for him because they're going to need him, especially when you get down the line.
So NC State, Terquavian Smith, their star among stars. He is the third leading scorer on NC State's team, and they still score 107 points and win going away against FIU. Sure hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Your final score on a Tuesday night, it's 107 NC State. FIU was 74. For Brian Oliver and our entire crew, I'm Eric Collins saying so long, everyone, from Raleigh, North Carolina.